All right, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about the updated BCM tier list, okay? And this tier list is going to be a good insight into the future because this is going to be one, including Black Divider. And I'm going to talk about where I believe Vanessa would also go on this tier list, okay? So we are more so looking at the JP tier list, so you're going to get to see how the JP meta is right now, which is slightly advanced, but also different. So it's going to be very weird how I approach tier lists from now on. I'm going to take some recommendations down below because of the fact that Global and JP will not be getting units at the same time, and the schedule is going to be vastly different. So I am back on my PC. Okay, you could probably see I'm on Opera. I've got all my pins up here, right? But I am not in my room because obviously, I think I mentioned it, my room flooded. Well, the basement flooded. I'm in the basement and I can't really go there, and I will have my PC not there anymore for the next month, so I'm in a different room. But yeah, we're going to talk about the tier list, okay? And there's been some dramatic changes, dramatic changes. And these are things to see for the very soon upcoming in like 16 days, Black Divider, okay? On Global, he's going to be coming when Season 10 ends. I'm pretty sure it just logically makes the most amount of sense. So let's just kind of hop into it, right? Now, everyone's going to be rated max dupes and level 125, just the maximum output, okay? If a unit is up there, it's because sometimes it's because they're 125. Sometimes it's just because they're good, even just without level 125. Now you're going to see one big thing like, hold on, what is this? So yeah, everything's been moved around, and there's basically been a gap of power. Now JP is on the left now and Global is on the right. So Global, you could see, is not updated. Okay, Global's not updated. Vanessa's not in the database yet, but we do have a Black Divider. So I guess we could pull a Black Divider, but he's just absolutely insane. Okay, actually I have not seen his stats compared to others, so I'm just kind of curious for that. If we go here, yeah, he's got, oh, he does not have the highest, so he's second highest, but it's okay. Like, I mean, overall though, it seems like they did not put the right HP, but he has pretty good defense. Nice speed. Okay, good enough, right? Good enough speed. But the main thing is just everything he does. The damage increase that you could get from this, and also from his this is insane if it wants to load. This is insane if it is it here. Yes, it is. So this just guaranteed 30% damage increase to anyone is really good alongside this 200%. And then he does an extra 5% increased damage taken per 1,000 defense. So you're getting at least around about usually on a supporter about a 50% damage increase. So there's the skill page, which you kind of need. So his damage is very crazy. Okay. And then also this is the best skill one in the game, SP -4 and HP recovery block, very good. So yeah, he basically gaps the game. Plus this stun is way better on a Black Divider, because then you could actually pair Black Divider up with Noelle, unlike Black Asta, who's a tank, so it doesn't work out for the turn 1 combo. So yeah, no, this is why Black Divider is very good. His whole kit from A to Z is amazing, and also it's just like, bro, this is one passive, 200 up to 200% damage increase and immortality. Okay, then here, the total silence removal. Okay, then the Desperate gives stun block, and then also SP8 when he kills. I mean, come on, it's insane, right? It is really insane. Also, this very good part because it will save you, and then immortality immunity, which is what tips him over the edge and makes him just #1, right? So that's why Asta's there. Okay, he's runnable and just basically just outright completely scary in any team that he's run on. Now then, Noelle, why is she here? Because she basically doesn't have a single team that she isn't good in, if we're being real. She works on any team, like, conceivable, okay? So there's no reason for her not to be an S+. Her damage is still pretty good. She could be ran in so many ways. She's good with Black Divider, with every other DPS in the game, okay? So she definitely deserves this placement as a supporter, DPS, and just utility unit. So supporter and DPS, already insane, and then she's able to tank, then she taunts, okay, then she gives invulnerability. So these two units, them being here, makes a lot of sense. Now, I want to just mention briefly, and I want your opinion. Do you think Vanessa deserves to be on this tier? Because I do not think she's as good as Black Divider, and Noelle definitely has more value. Now, Vanessa, honestly, definitely has restrictions, I would say. In terms of, it's a bit different with Vanessa compared to like Black Divider. They both have the same dark typing restriction with the colors, but Vanessa, like, she does have her value, but the problem with Vanessa is that you might not get the debuffs, where Black Divider just completely stomps. These two units completely stomp the rest of the game, where Vanessa's still very good. So in my opinion, she will be in this tier, the S tier, okay? She is going to be very high S tier. I think, like, if we're like talking about like top 10 units, she's easily top 5, okay? I don't know if I'd put her third or fourth, but I feel like she's somewhere around there. She would most definitely be right here if she was in here, but right now we're looking more at the JP tier list and also just like JP units and the meta. Okay, so now we get to see the oppressive units in the meta. Okay, these are the units. All of these units make up PvP right now. Okay. Magna, no brainer. I think a lot of people have been accustomed, if they started playing RTA, they've been accustomed to the new Magna, where he's going to have immortality, okay? And with MO, he's way crazier, especially if you got his skill page, okay? You need him max dupe also, I want to make that clear, because once you get him to max dupe, he's at 109 speed. And when a DPS is at 109, it goes quick, right? It does go quick. So, yeah, seeing like these units like being at 109 very strong, but Magna, you know, are the only ones that really profit greatly from it. His ability to stun anyone, very good. The burn turn 1 allows him to be kind of played with gray sometimes, and definitely is pretty toxic, right? And it also makes it so defensive builds just aren't really viable, because those burns, if you let those burns start stacking, they go crazy, right? So very good unit. That heal block on his skill 2 also easy counter against a lot of units, especially Black Asta with the Witch Queen team. And then still Mimosa, very good against Mimosa because you cannot block HP block, right? So that's the big thing. Now Rill, still very good. I would say S is, it's acceptable. I would say he's more so low S compared to all these other units. I think he's like the least deserving of S, but still pretty good. It's mainly because of his ult. If we're being honest, it's his ult. And there's not many good red units. If we're looking, like, hold on, let me pull it up in another tab. But if we look at red, like, supporters, there's nothing, right? Which is why Rill is still, like, kind of usable, okay? But it's mainly his damage reduction, not damage reduction. Well, damage reduction is nice, but it's the speed and the mobility. This mobility is absolutely toxic and just such a big thing. Plus his ability to get ult back very quickly, especially if you got his skill page, definitely makes him worthwhile to have, especially if you're running him with Noelle, and then also because of the 100% mobility, where you could technically get 2 turns out of someone immediately, because obviously mobility can add up above 100%. So you could go up to like 200% mobility, get 2 turns back to back on one unit, and it's absolutely incredible. So that's why Rill's there. Now Charlotte, no brainer. I don't even like talking about her anymore, because it's like, since she's released, when did she come out? Like genuinely, it's been like 10 months. I think she came out in November. Did she not? I'm trying to remember. Was it? I think it was right before. I think it was right before Black Asta. So it was in October. Since October 2023, we've been talking about Charlotte being like top of the top. Still top 5, by the way. Just want to make that very clear. She deserves a damage reduction barrier, SP, nothing more needs to be said. Now Mimosa has gained a lot of value with Mono Green just kind of taking precedence again and kind of staying. On JP, it kind of faded a bit for a little bit from what I saw, but then it picked back up very quickly, and Mimosa was a big part of it. And Mimosa is just a staple off and on Mono Green, okay? So very good unit. I mean, on Mono Green, there's a couple different variants, right? But still very good. Mimosa for sure, one of the top units. So her heals, her AoE heals now with 125, her insane healing potential, her insane HP amount, and then also her ability to res is super strong, super duper strong. So yeah, amazing unit. Now Vanessa, why is she here? Well, invulnerability is starting to take its use again with Black Divider now. Especially you could also put this on Black Divider himself. But the main thing is this. Removing immortality on the combo is extremely strong, especially when Vanessa does not always need to have her ult being in use. So you could technically also just put this with William and it works out. And because she's green, you could put this slot with William and your team with Black Divider is still going to work out. So her color is greatly advantageous to her in this case. So I don't know, like if I'm like comparing Dark Vanessa to Green Vanessa, I'd say they have very similar value in terms of levels. Like if I'm giving a value out of 100, I feel like they would be pretty similar in terms of how much I'd say both offer to the meta. Because Vanessa just became, I think, a top 10 unit overnight with Black Divider's release because of how big Black Divider's immortality is. And if you're playing against bots and stuff like that, that immortality removal that Vanessa has is absolutely insane. And she also speeds Noelle up if you're using Noelle. So Vanessa's still crazy. Now, you know, obviously still very good, has the silence, has invulnerability, invulnerability being the one thing Black Divider can't, really counter, right? And then also, because remember, Black Divider removes immortality on his ult if he's in desperate. So keep that in mind. And then also, Yuno has immortality removal, so there's a lot of things that go to Yuno's advantage, keeping him like a rather pretty good unit. Now, Julius, even on global, like I would still say he's pretty good. I feel like S tier maybe a bit high, but with the teams I've seen with Vanessa, like pretty nice. But if we go to like JP, well, yeah, Julius damage wise is just absolutely toxic. It's just you can't use your skill 2 as much unless you have an immortality unit, right? Because of the fact that you kind of need to make sure Black Divider doesn't fall to 1%, unless you're using someone like Yuno or Vanessa, which you could for sure do. It's just, it could get a bit tricky sometimes. But definitely, I could definitely see Julius, well, he is still very good, obviously. And then Lotus, right? With Finral, I think these three in Finral is going to be a toxic combo. But Lotus debuffing, removing buffs is still a crazy thing. There's a lot of tech with Lotus, a lot of different teams, and I think in one of my Black Divider videos, I got completely rolled by a Lotus because I didn't use Vanessa. But Vanessa is also another thing for Vanessa. She has her total defense, okay, for one turn, which if you use this right before Lotus, like you could technically, how I've seen it, well, Ali told me basically, what you do is you speed up with William on Vanessa, then Vanessa uses the total defense right before Lotus ults, so then Lotus cannot really debuff you. That's kind of how you do it. So yeah, Vanessa, another thing. Now, William, honestly, is the only unit here. I think he's number 3 right now in my mind because he is just insane with almost every single unit on this list. Magna, Yuno, Vanessa, because of what I just explained, Julius, Black Divider, Noel. Like, he enables a bunch of these units. Every single DPS, Asta, Julius, Yuno, Magna, he enables. He also enables Vanessa, okay? And then he's just able to give decent damage reduction, okay? And the best part about it, you sometimes don't need to use his ult, so then his combo is available. And why is that good? Because of Vanessa also, okay? If you put William with Vanessa, William doesn't need to use his ult. He combos with Vanessa, bada bing, bada boom. So it's things like that, right? But this speed increase from William is just universal, right? Universal on every single DPS at the moment. So I think he's the like number 3 in the game. But it's like there's that little gap, right? There's that gap between like Noel and William that makes William, like, even if he's in my mind number 3, he's still an S tier. So that's kind of how I see it. So yeah, this is that's it for the top units. These are the units that make PvP, but now let's scroll down to other units that you will see in a lot of teams. Asta, Witch Queen, still a team that obviously is there, still a team that is sometimes viable, but it's just Black Divider completely destroys. Let's get rid of these tabs. It's starting to get a little messy. But why exactly does he destroy? For a couple of reasons. Well, this 5% damage increase per 1,000 defense, you could get up to 60, 70, 100, 150k defense if you get all the buff stacking. So then you start getting a big damage increase, and then Black Asta's dead, right? That's just how it is. Witch Queen still has uses, but like she's very much tied to Black Asta, so it's like, you know, they kind of fall down a bit for sure. Black Asta completely is past this time. Julius on JP stomps him. Black Divider stomps him. There's nothing Black Asta could do really in a lot of cases. It is very rare for sure, very rare. Now I've seen an HP build. I forgot, was it Asta or Mario? I don't know which one it was, but one of the two had an HP build, so I think Mario too. But yes, it was Mario. So she had an HP build, and it was very toxic because I couldn't really do much against her. She just had too much HP, like 330k HP is ridiculous. So, you know, very good to just put DOTs, and then those dots, if you don't time it well with your own Black Divider, you could get your Black Divider killed. Because the one DOT, if Black Divider's at 1% HP, that burn is still going to kill Black Divider. Not 1%, 1 HP, so that's what I mean. Now, Mimosa cannot be taunted at level 125, which is why she's still good with the new gear set that basically gives you SP and mobility when the ally dies. So it lets Mimosa have some relevance, but not crazy relevance. Vero obviously lost value because he was good for the 2 weeks, and then Black Divider came out, and then, he gets defense increase while Black Divider is doing extra damage to Vero, and then Vero is dead. So that is the problem, right? Vero cannot really tank Black Divider. That's the main thing. If he could, great, but Black Divider rolls him, which is why he's an A and not in S. Now the blue units, Nozel, if he's able to get those 3 stacks with level 125 max dupe, then yeah, great. Mono blue, if you've seen on global, very good. Same thing with Zora. His debuff immunity actually is pretty nice. Obviously going to be very good with the reflection. It's been a bit annoying to fight, so I'd say A tier is pretty, it makes sense. Now William, I feel like B, I could see B, but A is actually pretty solid. Then Ghost DOT immunity, still very good. still a very, very good thing to have. And the damage increases, you can never, never go wrong alongside 40% damage reduction. Now, Zora obviously loses value. I want to talk about Zora first. Zora does lose a bit of value because Black Divider is just a better version of Zora in a lot of ways, single target damage wise. But he's okay. He has invulnerability. It's just, there's no point, right? He was never insane. Now, Gray, the problem is there's not many dot units that are like going crazy right now. But then once Fuego comes out, I think it could actually no. Fuego is gonna be dark typing, never mind. But Gray, like, she's okay. It's just I don't see her being as good now, especially because her main team was mono red, and guess what? Mono red is bye-bye. So yeah, she's gonna have some value, but not enough, right? Not enough to really put her that high. Like, she's good. It's just she's very easy to play around, especially on global with Vanessa. Like, Gray gets silenced, and then you could play around it very easily. So it is what it is. And then you start getting down, and it's like a bunch of units that just don't really have much value. I would say, should be an A, because he actually is pretty toxic. More toxic than the rest of these units, because of his immortality removal and double debuff lower very easily with immortality removal is very strong, and he gives attack lower. So a lot of those things kind of help him. Now, these units, yeah, I agree with everything. Fuego cooked. He's cooked, especially now with Black Divider. Any immortality unit loses a bit of relevance unless you're Magnum, who's able to get a bunch of attacks in, right? Then in blue, like, the only one maybe is like Charlotte, but it's like these units definitely have a clear gap compared to these. So it's like all of this to me makes a lot of sense. These units all have some type of niche value where Yami like is kind of like a mini red and where he could be used on any team though. So it's like things like that for sure definitely help all of these units. But yeah, that's basically it. And then you get down, and then there's not really much point. Now Jack, bit of a crazy placement. I think his damage is a bit better than this. But I also understand now Langris, he could get a lot of ults, but it's just all of these units just don't really matter. Like, we went through the meta. This is the meta. Like, A, S, and S plus is the meta. Even A units are starting to like not even cut it, but the meta definitely is taking a turn for the better in my opinion. There needs to be more units coming out, but that's the problem. There's not many. So I definitely think that maybe Black Ops is going to come into the mix with, I don't know what they would give him, but he needs a skill page soon. If they want to keep him, maybe in like 2 months, I feel like they give him a skill page, but we'll have to see. I feel like as he is the next festival, they're probably going to give him a skill page at some point. It's just hard to really make many of them. I would say, like, I don't get why they're only focusing on fests. Like, they could easily make skill pages or buff other units in other ways. Because, like, who wouldn't want, like, Ceremony Yami, right? Where's Ceremony Yami? Ceremony Yami. Or, like, I don't know, like Summer Yuno, or like Charmy, right? Even Clover Asta, right? Even Summer Noel, like, to see relevance again. Okay, there's no point to not. So I think they definitely could do something like that. But yeah, that's basically the meta. Let me know what you think of the meta. Do you think it's going in a good direction with all the leaks you've seen? Very excited for Funeral, but very soon, I don't know if I'm posting this before or after the tournament, but I will have the global tournament. So make sure to actually check out that tournament, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.